for a motion for the minutes as you have amended them?
I make a motion we approve the minutes as amended with the addition that was just stated, page 5, last paragraph.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Trustees Derlowski,
Aye.
Tiffany,
Aye.
Duberstein, Barrett,
Aye.
Bailey. Okay, I'll change the minutes to reflect the change, and I'll put a copy in everybody's box.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to report and communications, starting with the mayor. I'm going to keep my report brief tonight, as we have a lot of other business to discuss, and with the holidays, I know people are pressed for time. On that same note, and with the correction on the minutes or addition on the minutes, I have passed out a memo. I'm not going to go into great detail, but at the time I became mayor, 18 months ago or so, of course, we have standing committees that exist by our municipal code. There was an ad hoc committee which was formed some time ago. Ad hoc committees are formed at a mayor's discretion and are usually temporary committees. This one had been around for some time. I did not want to dissolve it at the time I took office, so I had asked the chairperson if he would be willing to change it to a community events committee and offered some guidelines. That was readily agreed upon at that time. I then assigned an additional trustee to the committee. After 18 months and only 2 committee meetings having taken place, and basically only at my insistence, there's been no real budget planning or effort put into any other type of community events. And unfortunately, there's been a disconcerting lack of collaboration between the trustees on the committee and even with the mayor's office. So I have decided to dissolve that ad hoc committee. And from now on, community events will be decided upon by the board, and chairpersons will be appointed on an as-need basis. And this provides an opportunity for not just officials, but also residents to chair a particular committee for just that event, as in years past. Okay, we'll move on to the clerk.
Okay, I am happy to report that our request for service is now working on our website. And then yesterday was the first day for petition filing, and we had 2 petitions turned in for 3 seats. We had Tim Powell and Gary Walkington, and then today Kevin Barrett filed. So we have 3 petitions filed for 3 seats so far. Last day to file is Monday, December 20th at 5 p.m. That's it.
Thank you. Treasurer, I'm looking this way. There you are.
My items are under business. Other than that, that's all I have to report.
Okay. And you're exhausted, right, from putting
Yes.
water bills in?
And Roseanne and Kathy for helping out.
Okay, our EMA coordinator is at his employer's holiday party, but he did enclose a very nice memo and explaining why he's not here, and of course there's an item of business. He has supplied the final draft of the emergency operations plan, and so we'll be looking to adopt that under business. We'll go on to building official, Russ Crayley.
We got a monthly report, and just for informational purposes, Russo came in today, or yesterday, and picked up the remodeling and building permits, so they're starting to work on their business across the street. They want to open up this spring, so hopefully we'll keep them online. That's it.
That was exciting that they picked that up.
I'd like to comment on that fact that, and I said this in the finance committee tonight, they've paid over $14,000 in fees alone already that was totally not budgeted for because we didn't know they were coming. So I always like extra income.
It's a good thing. All right, and our Public Works Superintendent, Jeff Gately, is not present tonight. He is at his daughter's holiday concert at the high school. But Jeff, of course, he was out a lot this weekend during the storm and communication with me, and of course then also worked the holiday mixer. So we will excuse him to be at his daughter's concert. That's more important. Our attorney, Jim Rack.
Thank you. We've worked this month on the real estate transaction that is on the agenda for this evening, and also reviewed the ordinances that are on tonight's agenda. We are continuing our efforts to try and get the easement resolved for Walgreens without much success at this point.
Now, that being said, I just want to add that it's still moving forward with Lake County. It's just that the bike path will be placed in not the ideal location. It'll be 5 feet from the road, which is still allowed by the federal standards. So it will still be built in the spring, but we are still hoping that we can get this resolved so we can get it in a better location.
So it's going to go all the way to 120?
Yes, that's the only way Lake County will continue the project. Okay, village engineer, Greg Rule.
Thanks, Mayor. In early November, we were alerted to a drainage problem at 347 Deer Lake Drive. It's the Dominey property. We were able to confirm that the side yard storm sewer was actually infiltrating into their perimeter drainage system of their basement and basically overwhelming their sump pump system. In order to remedy the situation, we solicited 2 proposals from American Pipeliners to line the storm sewer, basically a felt and epoxy liner. 2 proposals, one was for $15,850 and the other was for $22,000. Through the Public Works Committee, we contracted with the American Pipeliners Company to perform this work. We consider this a critical situation that needed to be done before the spring thaw, and in order to do this work, it had to be about 25 degrees and rising, so it really had to be done basically in the month of December. This time we wouldn't have been able to have done it. Another item is the motor fuel tax. We recommended releasing the retainage for beam pavement. That was on the omnibus agenda today. Performance bond is good until November 2011 in case any deficiencies arise with that particular work. The IEPA contacted me about the stimulus loan program that we submitted for about 2.5 years ago. Unfortunately, all the stimulus money is actually gone, but they are continuing their annual loan program, which consists of about a 2% to 2.5% low interest loan. So we're going to be working with Jeff and the Public Works Committee to determine what projects, if any, that we want to work through that loan program. And as far as the Boysen Level property is concerned, we submitted the FOIA request to the EPA, IEPA, and performing an environmental assessment on the site as well as an asbestos survey for that project. And our site is going to be out this Friday. Questions?
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to the standing committees. Finance, Trustee Daly.
Not a lot going on. The budget forms are out to the appropriate personnel. Deadline is January 11th. Thank you. And we're ahead of the game from last year. We're trying to make certain that we have a budget in place by the end of this fiscal year. We haven't done that in 2 cycles yet, in the past 2 cycles for a variety of reasons. And then we will approve the tax levy tonight, and then we just can sit back and wait for a bit to find out what the county's going to do with that.
Okay, thank you. Public Works, Trustee Waddington.
Mostly it's what Greg had already mentioned was we came up with some water main extension projects to go with this loan program, stimulus money that the government doesn't have anymore, but that's the main projects we talked about. Those 3 water main extensions for now until. And it would be a loan deal probably rather than spend our own, if
still 18 months away from getting any money. The inquiry from the EPA was to approve our project plan, which is the first step actually of the loan process.
Okay.
Where do we,
And then it's a low interest.
It's a low interest loan for the full amount.
Okay.
where do we stand on the connection over here on the east side of town?
We're still waiting to hear from the IEPA about Pineview too, I think.
Pineview Apartments?
Sometime after the first.
Yeah, that we have to, we solicited proposals, we actually have to get an IEPA permit. Technically, it is a 200-foot water main extension. Obtain permit, so that'll be a spring project.
Okay, so we can't go off for bid at all until we have the permit?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Public safety, trustee Barrett.
Well, with the impending winter season upon us and people out shoveling snow and blowing snow, what I'd like to do is write something up and see if we can put it out in the next newsletter with the water bill on adopt a hydrant program. Only because last year I spent a lot of free time on weekends shoveling out hydrants with my son. People were doing crazy things like they were clearing their driveways with their snowblower and piling the snow on top of the fire hydrants. So, and that's not really good for you if your house is on fire and the fire department needs that source of water. So I was wondering if there's some way we could look at, publicizing and adopt the hydrant program, or at least making, citizens and neighbors in the community aware of, don't bury your fire hydrant. If you've got a couple minutes, take it out so the fire department can get access to it. So that's a big thing in the wintertime.
Well, and now I'm just thinking, now Joe's not here, but I don't think we've got the flags up on we weren't going to put them on all the fire hydrants, but the main corners or places where they tend to get more buried, those flags should go.
I'll coordinate with Jeff then.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you.
Can I reply with that too? Since we got the new tractor, is that something that we may feasibly be able to use also?
Bucket on, it'll make life a lot easier to dig it all by hand if we have to.
I'll be honest though, I've got one in my front yard. I don't want the tractor digging into my front yard.
I was just going to say, yeah, that's,
I keep mine clear, and I know what the snowplow does to it when it hits it accidentally. I wouldn't want to replace my tree or sod.
well, I have a suggestion. When we, under business, if you notice item 6, we have sidewalk snow removal. Why don't we talk about fire hydrants along with that? So why don't we just table that to a little later in the meeting? And then Kevin, do you have an update for us on Shop with the Cop that you want to share?
Boy. Residents and villages and businesses within the village of Hainesville donated in excess of, I believe it's $1,200 with matching funds from Grace Lake. We're going to have 31 different children and families combined here Sunday to do 2 rounds of taking kids. So we're going to go use the Target and Gurney. We'll have participation by Grace Lake Police, CLC Police Department, Round Lake Area Park District PD, possibly Lake Villa if they've got some spare bodies or if we need them. Chief Roth was good enough to say if he needs some help, I'll make send a couple officers. So we're looking at 13 to 14 cars during the convoy up there and taking 2 rounds. And we will also here have the screen set up. Looks like we're going to do a movie. Piggly Wiggly and Grace Lake has donated a complete turkey dinner with all the trimmings for the family. Spring Funeral Home has volunteered to wrap all the presents. So when the kids go shopping,